So hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and Operation Orphix Venom is out much sooner than I expected, so let us check it out, shall we? Now before we start, a little bit of disclosure I suppose. I have once again become a Warframe partner, so I got some stuff for free. There you go. Now this event is very straightforward. It consists of 3 missions, with the third one being Endurance, where you're going to be farming your event resource. The vendor for the event is Father, who now has a new option for you to select called Operation Orphix Venom, and he sells an absolute crap ton of stuff. Oh my god, is there a lot of stuff to buy from this event. So first up, and most importantly, this is how you get Lavos, who is our 45th Warframe, and he's an alchemist. It's also where you get all the bits and bobs for the Sedo, which is his signature weapon. You can also get a blueprint for its alternative helmet, a new necromech helmet, some skins for Argans, a bunch of necromech mods, and much more, because in addition to bringing a whole bunch of new stuff, he also sells all the things that were available through Scarlet Spear, including all the arcanes. Now onto the actual mission. So the first one is the lowest level, and it's a corpus survival on Europa with a twist. So there's actually no life support here. You are instead trying to stop the sentients, and you do that by destroying the Orphix, for want of a better word, things. Now, as you may have noticed, I'm in a necromech, and that is because the Orphix things will generate a field around them that will scramble your Warframe. So the only way to approach them is either with your operator, who by the way is gonna get absolutely creamed by the sentients, or with the necromech. Now, it's not the end of the world if you don't have a necromech, because there's a bunch of necromechs lying around, so you can hop into one of those, but I would very much not recommend it, because while the necromechs themselves are fine, they have unmodded mausolons, which do basically no damage. You can probably get away with it in the first mission, and maybe the second, but by the time you're doing the third one, the damage is simply not enough. Now, your goal in these missions is sort of twofold. Firstly, you're trying to get enough score to get the actual mission reward at the end, which for the first mission is 500, and the way the score works is it will gradually tick up throughout the entire mission from the very start to the end, plus you get extra score whenever you destroy one of the Orphix, with the amount of score you get scaling up as you destroy more and more of them, up to a maximum of 24 Orphix in the first and second mission. And secondly, you're also farming Fasic or Fasic something cells, which is the event currency you can use to buy event stuff from Father. Now, the way you destroy the Orphix stays pretty much the same throughout the entire event. So when you first approach it, you will see some resonators marked with a red icon on the heads-up display, which you have to destroy to make the Orphix vulnerable. Once you make the Orphix vulnerable, you will see a weak point in the middle of it that you have to shoot while fighting off some sentients, though that is not entirely necessary, and once you get it down to half health, it will do a bit of a boof and send out more resonators that you once again have to destroy, which will once again reveal the weak point and allow you to destroy it for good. Now, the reason why you don't necessarily have to fight the sentients while doing this is because once you destroy the Orphix, the sentients will all disappear. And finally, these Orphix is what ticks up the sentient control, and it can actually tick up quite fast, especially if you have more than one active. And if it ticks up all the way to 100%, you don't necessarily fail the mission, but the mission is over. You can still extract and keep what you got, but you can't progress any further. So if you manage to get enough points in the first mission, which is 500, you will get the Operation Orphix Venom emblem, which looks really dope. The second mission takes place on Saturn instead, and it's once again survival, though this time around it's Grenier, and it's essentially the same mission. The way you have to think about this is kind of like easy, medium, and hard. So you once again have to deal with the Orphix so the sentients don't take over, and in this one you have to get 1000 score points in order to get the reward, with the Orphix, just like in the first mission, being capped at 24. Now, while this one is a little bit harder than the first one, it's not that big of a jump, especially if you have at least some mods on your necromech and you have, you know, a decently modded Argan, which at this point you really should. I mean, hell, the standard Imperator is still one of the better Argans when it comes to DPS, so just slap on some mods and you're gonna be fine. And if you manage to get 1000 points in this one, you will get the Ayatan Hemakara sculpture. And the third and final mission on the menu takes place on Jupiter, and it's once again Corpus Survival. This is the hardest one, and while it is endurance, it is not necessarily endless, with the Orphix being capped at 36. This is where it kind of starts to get rough, because while it starts off fairly mild, it ramps up pretty fast. For this one, I would highly recommend you go in with a squad. I did manage to solo it, but my necromech did get destroyed about halfway through, and I had to wait a minute to resummon it. And that is a problem, because the sentient control just keeps ticking up and up and up. And while yes, you can jump into one of the random necromechs that's on the ground, at this point you're going to be doing barely any damage with the unmodded mausolons. And if you manage to finish this one with at least 2000 points, you're going to be rewarded with an Aura Forma as well as the Mausolon Sepulchrax skin. And after that, well, you simply pick the mission you feel most comfortable farming, ideally the third one because you can go much farther, even though it is the hardest one, and you farm and farm and farm until you get all the things you want from Father. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video and it was helpful, and I will see you some other time. Bye bye.